AITA for not inviting all students to a barbecue? I, 30F, am a teacher. I have a class with 24 students. I teach first grade. I told my students that we could have a barbecue at a park, with hot dogs and hamburgers and snacks, for whoever filled their good noodle sticker charts. This has been approved by the principal, and I teach at a private school. We have daily sticker charts to track their behavior in school. They had to have perfect behavior all of April in order to participate. I have one student who has some behavioral issues. They did not earn all of their good noodle stickers this month. Since this student we'll call Bobby didn't earn the barbecue, I had let his mother know just in case he mentioned it. Bobby would join another class for the day and do work inside while his classmates were at the barbecue. She has been sending emails complaining to myself and the principal all week about how her child should also be able to participate and it is unfair. She thinks we should make an exception since he has behavioral issues and feels we could be targeting him. I think I'm being fair because he did not earn all of his good noodle stickers. So AITA? YTA. Perfect behavior for an entire month is not an age-appropriate expectation for first graders. At that age, shorter-term rewards are more effective. YTA. As a former educator myself, I hate these kinds of public exclusionary rewards, especially for very young kids. These are first graders. From what you've posted, it sounds like this was the only student excluded. There is literally no way that is going to encourage better behavior from this young child in the future. Kids, especially young ones, often act out in reaction to emotional stimuli they don't have the appropriate tools to process yet. 99% of the time, a kid of first grade age who is acting out has trouble somewhere, stress, problems at home, getting bullied, who knows. For the same reason it's unfair to punish young kids for tardiness or attendance issues. It's unfair to expect a kid this young to behave all the time when you have no idea what might be happening in their lives that isn't in their control. Publicly excluding one child is going to make behavior issues worse. You're turning them into a pariah to their peers. Kids can be mean, and honestly don't need much to single someone out as other. I know you want to use some kind of reward system for the kids who are behaving the way you want, but you're talking about 6-year-olds. Something as big as a barbecue at the park should have been an all-or-nothing class goal. Singling out the one kid who is having trouble, which, again, you as the teacher will almost never know the true source of, is bullying. If these were high schoolers, that would be one thing. Teenagers are more mature and can be expected to have more control over their behavior, but we're talking about kids who are only 6 years old. You need to rethink your reward system, keeping in mind age-appropriate expectations for these children. Edit. Some of your comments specify that this kid has an IEP. 100% YTA. A kid that young who already has an IEP is never going to be able to meet that level of behavioral expectation, regardless of whatever accommodations the IEP calls for. Perfection for a month. You set this kid up to fail. Hopefully not on purpose, but that's still the outcome. Learn from this in the future. This isn't okay. You're teaching first grade, not 10th. They're too young and immature to fully understand why you're ostracizing them, and it can't come as a surprise to you that this can lead to mocking of the child who failed to behave. Good grief. Wasn't pedagogy and empathy a part of your curriculum at all? Find a more age-appropriate way to award good behavior. YTA. I was the mom in this situation, and my son is in first grade as well. Kids their age take everything to heart and get hurt very easily by being excluded. If the kid's already struggling with behavior problems, how would being singled out affect their mental health? That's so wrong, I'm sorry, but I'd be furious with you too and ask my child to change teachers. Well, is Bobby the only excluded student? Was he clearly trying hard to earn them? YTA. You likely could have predicted 12 students would fail to get all the stickers. I agree that a person should stick to what they say. In this case, you should have left some leeway. You set this up and should have foreseen this exact outcome. This is going to be rough for a 6-year-old to handle. Being the sole kid to be excluded might feel pretty bad. The real question is, would you feel good about it if you were 6? Put yourself in the kids' shoes. They will hear about the BBG from their friends for the rest of term. If you can honestly say, you would be fine with being the only kid excluded, then feel free to ignore my judgment. YTA. I'm dead serious. Find a new profession. Far away from children or anyone vulnerable. Teachers like you are a big reason why children like that student struggle and suffer for years with their self-worth, finding their place in society, and struggle with relationships. I wonder how many core memories of trauma this teacher has left on students like Bobby. Every time he didn't get a sticker or penalized for being a child with a disability, rather than guided and respected. You couldn't train him like some prized show dog, so you're punishing him. Let me guess. He didn't sit still, stop speaking on command. A little rowdy. Find a new job. YTA. You're saying out of 24 first-grade kids, Bobby was the only one who didn't have perfect behavior for an entire month? That's incredibly hard to believe. I don't believe in the special snowflake. Everybody gets a trophy theory that's so prevalent these days. But come on. I don't know of any 6YO who is perfectly behaved all the time. Info. Does Bobby have a diagnosis for his behavioral issues? Or does he just not listen? Info. So did everyone in the class get their stickers and he's the only one who can't come? I threw a party for everyone who ran laps in PE. One kid is in a wheelchair and is obviously physically unable to run. But since he didn't run, he doesn't get to join the party. AITA? Bro. Edit. Yay. No. This was malicious. There's absolutely no way you sat on this plan for over a month and didn't once think about how this could end up. You did this whole thing with the intention of singling out this one kid. YTA. That seems like a huge punishment for a first grader. It seems alienating. Is there not something else that can be a consequence of not enough noodles? I get the principle, but a kid can only understand so much about consequences at that age. I'm going with YTA. This kid will remember forever how he failed and missed out because his behavior wasn't at a standard that you determined. Knowing that he has behavior issues, now you're excluding him. How do you think that could impact the already vulnerable kid? It isn't going to encourage him to do better. More so make him feel more isolated than he probably already does. YTA. These are 6-year-olds. The punishment for bad behavior isn't being excluded from the barbecue. The real punishment is that you have given the other kids tacit permission to ridicule and ostracize him, probably for the rest of his elementary school years. I have to ask how long you have taught this age group. It doesn't sound like you fully understand the pedagogy of this age group yet. Kids do not want to misbehave for the sake of misbehaving. It is because they do not yet have the skills to deal with certain situations appropriately. That may be due to underlying issues beyond their control or learned behavior. Either way, they haven't learned the proper skills, and as adults we need to set them up for success so that they begin to use those skills independently. And no, this does not mean everyone gets a sticker for every little thing they do. But expecting all kids especially a student with an IEP. To reach a goal of perfection, good behavior for an entire month, is setting some students up for failure. As an educator, you should know that setting unattainable goals is not how you motivate students to do better. The one child in your care who needs the most help regulating their behavior is punished for not reaching a goal you knew they'd have difficulty reaching. Can you imagine the mounting frustration he must have felt as he watched his noodle remain empty, knowing he would never be able to fill it? Did you think that would motivate him to suddenly acquire skills he doesn't have? Or do you think that might have made his behavior worse? Was there not even small acts throughout the month that could have earned him points? Hopefully this has some magical effect and he is cured, but most likely he will remember forever that he could never be good enough. YTA and the principal is 1-2 for allowing it. I am sorry, but as a special educator and mom to 2 neurodiverse kids, both have ADHD and one also has autism, I am going to say, without a doubt, YTA. My kids went to a private school that rewarded kids this way. And I watched my kids both be crushed because as hard as they tried, they just couldn't do enough to get any kind of recognition. Once they are broken, they don't get unbroken. If I were that parent, I would keep my kid home that day and we'd go do something together. From an educator perspective, these kinds of behavior systems don't actually help behavior. They teach no skills. They reward kids who already know what to do and don't have to fight their own brains to achieve it. This is just one of a million reasons why behavior charts suck so bad. Look up the research. They work by shaming kids publicly. Shame. That is how this boy now feels. Also look into intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. This will impact this boy for life. Please do better. First grade. And you're singling this young student out amongst his classmates? You need to do better. Be kinder. And dig a little deeper regarding why your student's behavior might not be on par with others. My heart is aching for this 6-year-old. He'll always remember this. He might not remember your name or face as he gets older, although he probably will, but he'll always remember that you set him aside. Why are you doing this to a child? YTA. YTA. Research shows time and again that sticker charts do not work and teach extrinsic motivation. Essentially, they only choose to do well to get a reward, not because that are intrinsically motivated to be kind. Sticker charts do not create intrinsic motivation, and the poor left out now experiences an ungodly amount of shame and embarrassment which will only make school a place he hates. I am a therapist and have worked with kids in residential settings for over 10 years. I promise you, this doesn't work. It only hurts.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.